more on this we can now cross live to our correspondent in St. Petersburg, Oksana Boyko. Oksana, what were the main points of interest of the president's speech?
Well, it was a very interesting speech with some technical problems at the beginning. The microphones weren't functioning properly, and that, by the way, wasn't the only inconvenience, as you can probably sort of apologized for the rain and the wind, saying at the same time, but they may be a good reflection of the current economic realities. The president also went on to say that despite the fact that the economic situation remains pretty serious, that the challenges are still enormous, the world may have averted the worst scenario, but at the same time he said that it was definitely still too early to celebrate. Here's exactly what Dmitry Medvedev said.
It is too early to pop open a bottle of champagne. As some analysts say, the crisis is a long-living plant. Those who were supposed to analyze and coordinate measures to relieve the crisis have proved to be inadequate. They were not flexible and too slow. The international financial organizations, to say frankly, were not able to fulfill their functions. This has been clearly stated at the past G20 forums. Also, our pre-crisis analysis of international economic tendencies have been correct.
Now, it's the second time that President Medvedev speaks before the St. Petersburg Economic Forum, and this year's speech was built on many points that were raised in 2008. Back then, if you remember, President Medvedev essentially predicted the current economic downturn. Back then, he said that the financial system, the current financial system, was very much skewed towards some countries and therefore wasn't stable. He meant, of course, the United States. He believes that the current financial institutions in the world are built in favor of this country. But this time around, he also talked about the causes of the crisis as well as offered some solutions. Here are some of them.
We don't need a huge mass of new international laws. We need transparent and efficient rules of the game. They should motivate everyone to act rationally, from rank-and-file market players to market regulators. We need actions which can ensure steady growth, not hinder it. We need to implement the G20's decisions on reforming the international financial institutions. We're confident that we cannot limit this to just cosmetic changes, even if this is the option which certain states or the institutions themselves would prefer. We need brand new financial institutions which would not be dominated by specific political interests and scenarios.
Now, according to Dmitry Medvedev, one of the reasons why the world is finding itself in this current economic situation is its high reliance on the US currency, US dollar. And he said that, once again, that he has nothing against the American currency, but that simply it was too dangerous to rely on a single currency to put the whole world into dependence from the macroeconomic situation in one single country. And once again he suggested and promoted his idea of making the Russian currency, the Russian ruble, a regional reserve currency. Here's his motivation for this measure.
No national currency can be appointed to the world's reserve. The task of the Russian Federation is to make the ruble a more attractive, convenient and reliable method of transaction for all those who are ready to use it.
Now, Dmitry Medvedev also pointed out that he understands that you cannot turn the Russian ruble into a reserve currency by any sort of decree or anything of that sort. Investors have to trust and have to rely on the currency. They have to see it as an appealing means and as a safe way to invest their money. And as one way to do that would be to denominate and sell Russian commodities, Russian export items in the Russian rubles. And that's what the Russian government intends to do in the coming years.
All right, so a lot of ground covered in that keynote speech by Dmitry Medvedev. But what else is on the table for today, Oksana?
Yeah, this plenary session ended just a couple of minutes ago, and Dmitry Medvedev is also expected to remain here at the forum for a couple of hours. He is expected to attend a roundtable discussion on the price of oil, and this is a very interesting subject. You know that yesterday Crude prices almost reached $70 a barrel. This is almost twice as much as they were traded back in February. An enormous rally and something that gives a lot of hope to people gathered here in St. Petersburg. You know that Russia is the world's second largest oil exporter, so definitely that would help it cover some of its budget deficits. But at the same time, Dmitry Medvedev said that irregardless of where the oil prices are at the moment, Russia still needs to diversify its economy away from energy sources and more towards innovation and technologies. And we are expecting to hear some statements on this issue later in the day.
I'm sure we'll be hearing that buzzword diversification again and again as the forum progresses. For now, Oksana, thank you so much for those thoughts. That was RT's Oksana Boyka reporting for us at the World Economic Forum in St. Petersburg.